Hey guys, it's me Jay Houston, and today I want to talk about Project L. Now the topic I want to discuss today is characters Radiant have already designed in the previous title. These characters have extremely similar design concepts to some League champions. I looked around and haven't seen any videos on this topic, so let's jump right in with some obvious ones that are also fan favorites. Now for the short character evaluations, I'm not going to be going over supers or normals or anything like that, so let's get right into it. Alright, so the first character we'll talk about here is Edge, the one in the red. Edge is a very mobile and in-your-face character, but I'd say his most defining trait is that he has this little slash here that can stack up to 3 times, and when it's at the 3rd stack, he can cash it out for a bigger combo. So obviously this character is Yasuo, so let's take a look at this stacking mechanic. You can see every time he gets a stack, his sword does change a little bit, but you probably don't want to just throw it out like that. You probably want to end the combo like this. Now the move it enhances is his uppercut. Right here, that's just without spending the charge on it. But if you do spend the charge on it, you get way more hits and a wall bounce, which you can go for a reset. You can probably end with this again if you want, or you can just do a super. Another move Edge has that's extremely similar to Yasuo is this dash here. Now this dash, he has 3 options you can come out of it. You can slide, you can go for an overhead, or you can go for a wall bounce. And obviously this is emulating Yasuo's E. Thing about this is that he can actually go under projectiles if he does a slide. I suck. We'll try that again. But if you do a little closer, you get the knockdown and you get more pressure. Now the only move he's really missing is his wind wall, but he does have a form of projectile nullification other than his slide. It's the slash here. It actually nullifies projectiles if it hits it. The interesting note about this is that if he does nullify projectile, he does get a charge of the Rising Storm or whatever it's called in this game. So that's Edge / Yasuo. They could literally just throw a Yasuo skin on him and put him into projectile, which I'm sure they won't. If Yasuo does make into projectile, I'm sure they'll change his animations and give him some more nuance. Maybe like he could only super while characters in the air or something like that. But there is a lot to change, and I'm sure he won't play exactly like Edge does, but I think it would be extremely close to what this is. The next character we have here is Crow. Now Crow is also a very mobile and in-your-face character, but the coolest thing about him is that he has this shroud. Now from the shroud, obviously you're partially obscured and can mix your opponent up. But obviously you don't want to just throw it out with neutral. You probably want to knock him down first, throw it up, and use your advantage to maybe cross them up or something, get slow overheads, condition them with meaties first. So obviously this character is Akali, but a cool thing to note is that he has this slow projectile, which I would say was old Akali, not new Akali, pre-rework Akali, let's say. But it seems like they give this move to another character, which is Katarina, where from the small gameplay we've seen, we see her, I think it was against Darius. She knocks him down and then throws the dagger for set play. So since they gave Katarina this thing, this like set play dagger, I would assume they're not going to give it to Akali either. And if they wanted to add Akali, they'd probably have to flesh her out a little bit more. Maybe give her a little bit more mobility. Maybe give her some kind of marking mechanic where if they're marked, next time, whenever you cash out the mark, you get a little bit more meter, maybe a little bit more damage or something. But if they wanted to add Akali to the game, the blueprint is here, and I think she'd be a very cool character. The next character we have here is Dauntless. I would say she's a boxing female robot. So you know where I'm going with this. Obviously Vi. She's very mobile and in your face. I've been saying that a lot. Because it's true. She has this move here, charge it up, each projectile, you go straight through them. She punches you a lot, these things like that. That's Vi's E right there. And she has a lot of target combos. I forget what they are. She can do things like this. And she also has this little spin here, spin hook. You can hold it down to just spin. Also goes around projectiles. That was not awful. That was meaty as hell. Alright, there you go. I don't really play this character, or I didn't play this character when this game was popular. But yeah, clearly Vi. So these character evaluations are gonna be getting shorter and shorter because the more we go down the list, the less I've played these characters. So this next one is Talos. He is a grappler, and he has this little pulling move here, and he command grabs you. If this isn't set, then I don't know what is. He also has this, his forward heavy here is armored, and it wall bounces you. So this could also be set to W. It's set. I mean, what more could you want? Alright, the next character we have here after Talos is Vlad. As you can see, he looks very dated and kind of like a piece of junk. If you don't know what I'm getting at, I'd say this character, design-wise and some gameplay elements, is Rumble. Now, he has this missile here, very similar to Rumble's Electro Harpoons. And the most interesting thing about him is that he has this jetpack here, which you can cancel from some normals on the ground. So you can mix you up, extend combos, things like that. Yeah, some cool things like that. That's really all I know about him, to be honest. He's a Dragon Punch, that's cool. But that's Rumble. So that's about it for the base characters in this game. Obviously, there's Chell, which could be like any number of characters, to be honest. He's just a Shoto, Ezreal, whatever. Lee Sin if you want. But there are two prototype characters that recently, not too recently, have been unlocked. And they are Gun and Aegis. And so I'll be going through these two as well. So, Gun here, funny that I brought up Ezreal earlier, is that I think this character would be a great Ezreal. So Gun here, he is kind of a pseudo charge character. See, when he uses his projectile here, his on the bottom right, you can see A or B. They both go on cooldown depending on which one you use. A very charged character like, so once you throw one charge move out, you can't use the other one until you have the charge again. And the reason I put them as Ezreal is because Ezreal kind of only does two things: shoot projectiles at you and flies away and teleports away. So I think this could be his Q. Something to note about this is that he can change the speed of it if he holds back, neutral, or forward. And his E here could just be his DP. Imagine just Ezreal just blinking up, anti-airing people. And he also has this little shoulder rush. I believe he has follow-ups after. I guess you can just... Yeah, he has two follow-ups. You can shoot the gun or knock him away. And this is a very Ezreal thing, I feel like. Just keeping people out of your range and just blasting them with mystic shots. Also, he has the calling for a super. Oh, wrong buttons. Cool. It's Ezreal. Maybe. Maybe Lucian. I don't know. Next character we have is Aegis. She fights with a shield. I would say this is either Braum or Leona. What's interesting about her was, I don't think it's not in this on these characters, but I would assume these would have guard points on them. If you don't know what guard points are, it's pretty much like it's armor, but only at certain times. Yeah, like shield bashes, things like that. And she can armor herself, but doesn't actually work. I would assume this is armor, but it doesn't actually work. And I don't usually cover supers, but what's interesting is that our super kind of seems to me like it's just it's Edge's super, but it seems like since they gave her that and not like a special animation or anything like Gun did, it seems like it could be like Leona's ult when she calls down the sun ray. So those are all the Rising Thunder characters, pretty much, except for this one here, Chell. And the only reason I didn't cover her is because she could be like any number of characters, like Annie, Ezreal, Ryze, but like pretty much generic Shoto. Literally could be anybody. So I just want to say thanks for watching and see you in the next one.